George, did you follow me out? Georgie, let's go back in the house. That's a good boy. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Syracuse, ready for my garden tour. I've planted a lot of the stuff that we saw in the greenhouse, and I had some more plants delivered. It's Memorial Day weekend and I've got a really nasty cold, so bear with me while I probably hack and cough throughout the garden tour. I'm really happy with the way everything's been coming up. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Zoe had to have emergency surgery 2 weeks ago. We got her staples out this past week and she's doing really great. You should see her wandering around feeling good now that she's got her staples out. I've been trying to get work done and book my travel arrangements for my summer research. I've got a lot of research to do for my dissertation this summer. And in the middle of it, I've been finding sanctuary in the garden. So let's take a look at what's growing. These are plants I picked up this past week. They were on clearance at Lowe's. I've got African daisies, salvia. I planted some just gorgeous columbine. I love columbine, and it seems to be really happy now that I planted it. These guys were all on clearance, 50% off. And here are my strawberries. I moved them into a sunnier spot, and they are looking great. We're gonna have some berries real soon. I'm real happy with how they're coming along. You can see I stuck some green onions in there. So this is an area of the yard I haven't shown you before. We've got some gorgeous peonies that come up every year, and they're going to start blooming here in the next couple of weeks. And above that we've got more mature lilacs. They aren't very strong smelling, but they sure are beautiful. I do have some things coming up in the greenhouse still. This is my third or fourth attempt at growing those French melons. I'm hoping I have some better luck this time. Here are my poblano peppers that I started a couple weeks ago, finally coming up. I've got some less sort of strong and hardy looking tomatoes here. These are ones that I'm hoping to kind of baby and then give to friends. Down here's the phlox. You can see it's getting really big and ready to transplant. And that's really all I have in the greenhouse right now. So I set up a second bed this week, and I'm hoping that will give me some more space for melons and some other veg that I ordered. I want to take a look in here. This is the original bed. If you saw my seed savers video from earlier in the week, you saw that I got some tomatoes, peppers, lemon balm, and basil, but I've also been doing other planting in here as well. So these are the hollyhock that I started in the greenhouse, and here are the carrots. I moved them back here so they could get a little bit better sun. Over here, Blake put in the trellis for me. These are rocks that were in the ground that were preventing the trellis from going in. So this is the lemon balm that I planted a couple days ago, and it is really happy with its new place. Here are our poppies They are doing okay. They've been really wet, which is why they've got some yellow leaves. But I'm confident that they will do fine. Along the row here, you can see these are the pumpkins. There's a little yellowing on their primary leaves, but they are looking really happy with their transplanted plate. So Autumn did a great thing for me, and she painted some rocks that will identify my plants, because I have a hard time remembering what I planted. Here are my cucumbers that I transplanted. These are the beans that I transplanted. These were the ones that I started in cups, and I transplanted them about 4 days ago, and they're just looking great. I also transplanted my cauliflower, and even though we had some squirrels try to take off with them, they have really established themselves. You can see getting new leaves. They're really growing well. Over here, these are the squash that we saw coming up a couple weeks ago. They're still growing steady. This is the Genovese basil that I got from Seed Savers. I planted that there. What's funny is I picked up this live basil. It's also Genovese basil from Wegmans. It's a more mature plant, and I transplanted it into the garden as well, because as my friend Christine says, you can never have too much basil. She wants more basil than she knows what to do with, and I am on the same page. So I'm not sure this is going to do really well. It was looking like this before I transplanted it. Some of it has perked up, but I'm not entirely confident. Over here I planted the sage. Again, here's another beautiful rock that Autumn painted, identifying the sage. And on this side, we've got the sweet corn over here. And then we've got our tomatoes that I planted with another beautiful rock. Here are the tomatoes that I planted about a week ago. Here's a really nice looking tomato that I planted about a week ago. These were the ones we started from seeds. Here are my marigolds. And these are the radishes. They're getting ready to be harvested. We actually pulled one up yesterday. It was really tiny, but really good. You can see the peas are just getting huge. It's hard to see them without contrast behind them. It's all green, I know, but the peas are just looking great. They're grabbing onto the fence just like I wanted. Here is the Amish paste tomato that I got from Seed Savers. It's not dead, but it's not happy. I'm hoping that with a couple more days of rest, it will start to be happy. In between the radishes, I planted the peppers I got from Seed Savers, and they are looking a lot happier than I expected. So once I start pulling the radishes up, I'll put the red bell peppers up here in this row where I've got the radishes. But for now, that's what's going on in the first bed. This is the new bed that I just put in this week. I moved the hollyhock and zinnia over here because I want to attract pollinators. I haven't really planted too much in here, but it's worth showing you. Here are the watermelons. I transplanted these last night. This is the other tomato plant, the Mexican midget, that I got from Seed Savers. This one's looking also a little shocked, but better than the Amish paste. Here's another melon and another melon. This is basically the tomato and watermelon bed. So I ordered some Roma tomatoes back in March, and they arrived last night. So I planted those. They're looking pretty happy. So it looks like I'm going to have a lot of tomatoes. I'm hoping to put in some lettuce over on this side, depending on how much sun I have, or I might just start some corn over here since I need a lot of space and a lot of sun for corn. But this will be great to have the extra space, because tomatoes and melons both need a lot of room. So that's what I've got growing right now. Thank you for taking the time to check out the garden. Please subscribe or like. It'd be awesome if I could, you know, maybe do something with all of my garden videos. Anyhow, I hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend, and I will check in with you later.